Otherwise, mostly cloudy with that overnight low dropping to 58. This is your weather update from the WSIC Weather Center.
If you have an upcoming event, let WSIC spread the word. Go to WSICnews.com and click on the Community Calendar button. WSIC, proud to be part of your community.
Hello all, and welcome to the L Show, where the L in the L Show stands for leaning in, which means that we will not shy away from any subject, no matter how taboo or uncomfortable, things like menopause, sex and libido, mental health, depression, difficulties with weight loss, and all the other topics that are important to us as we move into the prime of our lives. Thank you for tuning in and either watching or listening to the show. If you have any questions during the show, please call in and we will do our best to get you on the air to answer questions. You can call 844-STUDIO-4 or 1-844-788-3464. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Roseborough Eastman, and I'm the owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary, located here in Cornelius. We are a compounding pharmacy whose focus is on functional medicine. What that means is that my team and I, we make medications that are specifically formulated for you. We also provide holistic alternatives like supplements, vitamins, and much, much more. To find out more about us, you can visit our website at roserxboutique.com. You can also visit us on Instagram and Facebook at Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary. Just to our listeners, the information presented on this show is not intended to replace the advice of your healthcare provider. I am so excited to introduce my guest co-host today, Dr. Marta Canfield, who is a physician with Opti-Health, and Stacy Sweeney, Director of Neurocognitive Services with Opti-Health. So on the show, we love to hear about people's backgrounds, their stories, their just how did you get here? So let's start with you, Dr. Canfield. Kind of give us some ideas about who you are and what's going on.
Well, thank you so much. I want to say, first of all, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
We're very excited to be here. As most practitioners in healthcare, I think a lot of what we do with our life comes down to what has happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a lot of problems, GYN-wise, menstrual health, gut health when I was younger. Didn't really have anybody to guide me. Fast forward to college, having really awfully painful periods. Met my best friend from college, Nicole Whitehead, who's a chiropractor here in Mooresville, Advanced Spinal Fitness, and she's been integral in showing me what integrative medicine is, and the reason that I'm actually in Mooresville now and not New York. And even though I used conventional medicine for surgery for endometriosis, I couldn't use the treatments for hormones or the prescription medications afterward to kind of keep everything under control. And so I had to learn on my own with a lot of trial and error how to do that with diet and lifestyle changes while going through medical school and residency. And so that is why I have arrived here. I do a lot of hormonal health, a lot of women's health, but I see all ages because I'm family medicine boarded and all genders.
Okay, well, welcome. And Stacy, what about you?
Yeah. Again, thanks for having us.
Of course.
My journey into healthcare started as a PT, practiced as a pediatric PT primarily with...
And PT, you all means physical therapist.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I practiced primarily in the neurological, so developmental disorders, but worked a lot with kids who suffered from attention and focus issues, designing exercise programs for them to help focus better at school. I wish I would have known then what I know now.
We always say that,
I
right?
know. It would have really helped. My journey into functional medicine came from a personal diagnosis of an autoimmune disease. And so I became a functional medicine certified health coach to help other people navigate that process. In the meantime, my husband and I adopted a ton of kids. We have 8 kids. And
oh my, and you have time for what else?
I know. So, but learning how to help them overcome things and challenges of their past led us on the paths of neurofeedback, hyperbaric oxygen, led us to the Amen Clinic. So we both became Amen Clinic board certified brain health coaches. the changes that we saw in our kids were amazing, and so we decided to share that with other people. So we started a business called Brainwise Solutions in Mooresville, and this last year we added kind of what you call our playground of modalities. We wanted
Love it.
more integrative care under one roof, and we brought Dr. Marta Canfield in to partner with us in this, and it's just been a great partnership. We're so excited.
Well, I am again so happy to have you both here. As we talked about before, this whole month for me is around mental health, mental well-being, stressors that can lead to mental health opportunities, mental resilience. We even had the opportunity last week to discuss the difficulties in navigating the system when somebody is seeking help for a mental health crisis. So we try to be as as educational as we possibly can, giving people tools. And I think that this month so far has been very educational for our listeners.
Great.
I am really excited about today. Today is going to be super fun because we're going to be discussing the exciting alternatives to transform your health through you guys. Listeners, I went into Opti-Health last week, and I was totally blown away. I really was. I walked in, and the atmosphere was amazing, and I'm a difficult mover when it comes to the atmosphere. Like you got to be just amazing to move me in that direction. But it really was just a beautiful atmosphere. It was like I call it a wellness playground, really. I was overstimulated. I mean, it's like squirrel moments everywhere. Here, I was looking over there. It's just amazing. Just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful space. So again, I am so excited to have you all learn more about their practice. And I always like to share fun facts with the audience. And keep in mind, listeners, that one of these fun facts could be the answer to a question of our trivia game on the last Friday of this month, where you could win a fabulous prize from Rose Pharmacy. The first fun fact: did you know that your brain has about 100 billion neurons? Now, that is about as many stars as in the Milky Way galaxy. That is crazy. You just don't think you don't think about it. And then signals in your neurons, for all of you, Formula One fans, signals in your neurons can travel at the same speed as a Formula One car. So that's about 100 meters per second or 360 kilometers per hour. That is fast, fast. Now, left brain and right brain dominance is a myth, right? So I would say, okay, my daughter is more, she's more, artsy, so she's a left brainer, because that's all that you hear.
Right.
But that's a myth, and I had no idea until I was looking at some fun facts. So yes, no one side of the brain is used more than the other. And then another interesting fact that I find is that your brain is super, super, super hyper efficient, running at about 20 watts of power. So what that means is a computer, let's just for comparison, a computer by contrast needs about 65 to 250 watts. And for a computer to simulate the 100 trillion connections of the human brain in real time, it would need 12 gigawatts to do that. And that is crazy. So I see the importance of what you guys are doing. Like, it's just
Absolutely
amazing, right?
is.
So when we get back, we are going to dive into Opti-Health and let our listeners know how amazing it is. See you when you get back.
Thought-provoking conversations and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Stuart Owen Dance, the resident dance company of Asheville's Wortham Center for the Performing Arts, is performing at Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius this Saturday. Want to learn more about Stuart Owen Dance before the event? Listen and watch Justin Dion, Executive Director of Kane Center for the Arts, during his show, Know the Scene, on Tuesday or on demand anytime. Just visit WSICnews.com and click on radio shows to find Know the Scene. Stuart Owen Dance, this Saturday, canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. The sesquicentennial celebration for the town of Huntersville is here this Saturday from 2 until 8 p.m. at Huntersville Athletic Park. Come celebrate Huntersville's 150th birthday, Saturday, September 23rd. For more info, visit huntersville.org. The All-American Dog Show is back in Cornelius, Sunday, October 1st, 2 until 5 p.m. Your furry friends are also welcome to attend. You can even enter them into the contests. Be sure to come by the WSIC tent at the All-American Dog Show happening at Robbins Park in Cornelius, Sunday, October 1st. For more info, visit cornelius.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high temperature nearing 76 degrees. Wind gusts getting up to 21 miles per hour. Through the nighttime, 50% chance of rain mainly after midnight. Otherwise mostly cloudy with that overnight low dropping to 58. This is your weather update from the WSIC Weather Center.
Whatever the story,
we have to end our dependence on China.
Have your say.
This debt crisis is going to set our economy back big time.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back to the L Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I'm here with my guests, Dr. Marta Canfield and Stacy Sweeney of Opti-Health. Thank you again, ladies.
Thanks.
So let's just go ahead and dive in here. So give our listeners an overview of like what the goal and the mission of Opti-Health is.
Great question. As we have been seeing patients and when we have all these different modalities to use, including my visits of integrative medicine, we're like, what's the root cause? Like, what's our why? And like, what is it that we really want to be known for? And it keeps coming up. But we're peddlers of hope and optimism, right? Mm-hmm. And because if I can have a patient walk out of the door with hope, that's huge for their recovery, for their optimization, right?
Yeah.
So that's really at the root of what we're doing.
I like that, peddler of hope.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. So what makes Opti-Health so unique? Or rather, what sets you apart from like other wellness companies?
Yeah, we take an integrative approach, and I know that might be a little kind of vague or maybe cliche, but when I think of integrative medicine, I think of getting to the root cause of why, but then I also think about like wrapping my patient in like a hug, right? Like, I am here for you. I'm not sending you out just to fend for yourself. And then, by the way, I have all these other fantastic referrals and all of these modalities that are actually already in the office, where normally they would have to go try and find all these different modalities in different places. Mm-hmm. And then what really, from a MD standpoint, that makes me think that Opti-Health is different is really Mike and Stacy Sweeney and what they brought to the table.
I appreciate that. As far as mental health care being integrative, I think it's so important to look at the health of the brain. So many people look at the symptoms that somebody's presenting, but don't look at, say, vitamin D status, or they don't look at the nutritional status. Just, we have had several patients when we do a deep dive into their nutrition, we can eliminate those symptoms, especially with attention and focus or even cognitive decline. So it's been a wonderful coupling with Dr. Canfield where she can run those labs, we can provide the supportive services and do the coaching to do that deep dive.
And something else. So that's the physician-led piece. Right, so that's another thing that makes you different. So for our listeners, physician-led.
Correct.
Right. So tell us about some of the services that you offer and procedures, processes.
So I'll start with my integrative consults, right? We at least do 30 minutes to 60 minute usually is our initial integrative visit. And that's really sitting down and we get your story, like what are the pain points, right? What's really bothering you? What's getting in the way of your quality of life, right? Because I was a PCP, primary doc, for 13 years prior to this, and really what it comes down to is if you listen to the patient, they will tell you what's going on if you know the right questions to ask and you get their history. That's something we learn day one in medical school. And along the way, I think we lose that because of the constraints that we have and how many patients we need to see and et cetera, et cetera. But I also now in my integrative consults, I now have kind of like a prescription, if you will, of modalities that then I will be able to quote unquote prescribe. And that's when the other modalities in the office that we have come into play. So we have whole body cryotherapy. And that's whole body. So it's kind of like a big freezer. People worry about claustrophobia, but it's nice and big and open.
I've been there.
Yes, you have. Red light bed, but also infrared sauna. We have IV infusion therapies. We have hyperbaric oxygen, which is going to
very excited.
Get into the office very soon. It's sitting outside the office right now. Health coaching, as Stacy had mentioned, and halo therapy, which combines red light and infrared and salt therapy as well. We also have compression therapy, which is one of my favorites because I have a lot of vein issues. And so it's we have a Flowpresso, but also Normatec, and they are two different types of compression therapy that we have.
Yeah, that table. It was that table that I saw with all, got you. Okay.
Yep. And then we have the neurocognitive piece, which Stacy is in charge of.
Yes, Stacy.
So in that neurocognitive piece, we have several different cognitive assessments that we use to identify different areas of the brain that might be causing the issues that the patient is coming in with. We use a Krios assessment, which is more functionally based, and we use our symmetry neurofeedback QEEG. So that's a brain map. And people come in, we have 5 tests that are eyes closed, 5 tests that are eyes open.
And what's that supposed to do with eyes open and eyes closed?
So the eyes closed is your ideal brain because you're not getting the stimulus from your eyes, right? So we can measure the brainwave patterns. We can look at delta, theta, alpha, and beta, and we know what norms should be. And it creates a mapping of what your particular brain waves look like. When those are out of regulation, so you talked about left brain, right brain earlier, if we really want beta waves, your thinking waves, to be dominant in your left hemisphere. If they're dominant in the right hemisphere, you probably come in with anxious thoughts. You have trouble sleeping. If you have too many alpha waves in the left side versus the right side, you're going to have those ruminating thoughts, those negative thoughts that don't go away. You might come in with depression. You might even have fibromyalgia. If somebody has too many delta or theta waves, those are your sleepy brain waves when you're awake. Those are the people that struggle with focus and attention because the brain's basically telling them you should be sleeping right now. So we see patterns.
What's going on with me? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we see those patterns, and it guides our neurofeedback training, which is like operant conditioning. So neurofeedback is fantastic. Kids love it. You're told to watch your favorite show for 30 minutes while our system reads what your brain is doing. And when your brain is doing what we want it to, the screen is light and bright, the audio is loud. When the brain goes into those old patterns, the screen fades, the audio fades. And the brain is very smart, and it likes the carrot of the light, bright screen and the audio. So we see brain waves turn and order themselves and compress on each other, and it's fantastic.
Wow.
It's a great tool to have in a toolbox, especially as a doc who might only have medications, right? in order to offer. But now, and I have a lot of patients who want to get off of medications, and so this is that fantastic modality that can help people do that.
So it looks like we have a caller on the line. Bill, we can patch the caller in. All right. Hello, you there?
Hello, Nicole.
Hey, William. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, young ladies. I hope y'all are having a good Friday afternoon.
We are. Hope you are as well.
I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to hang in there, one foot in front of the other, being a grandpa. And that's my question for Stacy.
You bet.
With her juggling 8 children, she's got to know a thing or two for interactions with children.
Yes.
Early this year, I lost my wife.
Sorry to hear
Jesus
that.
called her home, and she got her wings, and she's in a better place. So we're dealing with that. And every time my granddaughter comes to stay with me, which is not often, but we try to make the most of it when she does. She asked me, where did Nana go? Where did her Nana go? And I just been telling her that, well, your Nana got some wings and flew home to her permanent home. And I just let it go at that, because I just really don't know what to say to that. When you got a little 8-year-old or 9-year-old child staring you in the face and asking you a question like that, what do you say? What do you say? You know, so I just tried to be positive, but I'm just wondering if you had any suggestions. I'm assuming that you're a real young mother, but still, nevertheless, with 8 children, you've got to know.
She looks very young, William. You're not looking at us live, but she looks very young. Yes.
No, I'm not that savvy. I'm not looking at y'all live, but y'all's voices sound real young. But anyway, yeah, I just, it's been hard. It was just earlier this year, spring, when my wife passed away. And I've got, I have my issues, of course. You know how us men are. You guys are married to one. You know how us men, we try to fix everything, even though when we don't need to be fixing something, we're trying to fix it. And it bothers me. I want to fix this, and I just don't know what to do.
William, I appreciate your call, and I am also a grandma of 3, so I can understand your pain there, but also wanting to be with your granddaughter. From a personal side and from a coaching side, I would keep looking forward, right? I would, what are things that you can do with her in the future that would create new memories with the two of you? But it does sound like the loss is significant, and actually neurofeedback can help with that, because it can help process memories and hard memories, but it can also bring up good memories. So I'd love to chat with you more about that.
Yeah, let me get your information. I would like to sit down and talk with someone too, because I've got my own issues and all, but I'm trying to, they've just been swept up under the rug, Stacy, because I've had to try to take the reins here and try to juggle my job, take care of my mother, which is in her golden years now. And, it's just a full plate, of course, but, I just wondered, if there was anything else that I could do other than what I've already been doing.
So we're going to do this. Their information will be shared on the website, and so you'll be able to get in touch with them that way, in touch with Stacy, because of course she'd love to sit down and talk more about ways to assist. I thank you so much for your call, and again, we are very sorry for your loss, and we are here to try to help you work through it.
Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate
you.
it. It did help me earlier this week, or a couple weeks ago, when I talked to you and the other doctor host that you had on about my dealings with losing my wife. It's helped, to try to help my daughter. And now, we're just trying to deal with the granddaughter and everything else, because someone passing away, it affects a lot of different lives in a lot of different ways.
It does. And we so appreciate you for coming on. We'll be in touch with you soon, William. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good evening and have a good weekend.
You
Thank
too.
You too.
We'll be right back with the Elle Show.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome to the Continental.
From the world of John Wick comes a Peacock original 3-part event that takes us back to 1970s New York. The Continental.
This institution wields power beyond your imagination.
Let's take this house and everything that comes with it.
The Continental, from the world of John Wick. Streaming now.
And away we go.
Only on Peacock.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
And now look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high temperature nearing 76 degrees. Wind gusts getting up to 21 miles per hour. Through the nighttime, 50% chance of rain mainly after midnight. Otherwise mostly cloudy with that overnight low dropping to 58. This is your weather update from the WSIC Weather Center.
Older adults and those with chronic health conditions can build strength, improve balance, and gain confidence in their mobility through the Statesville Family YMCA's Moving for Better Balance program. This is a 12-week virtual program that takes place Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 10 a.m. starting October 10th and running through January 11th. For more details, visit ymcanwnc.org.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
It's back, and it's better than ever. The WSIC Community Yard Sale. Sell your stuff October 28th as we bring back the legendary Community Yard Sale. Visit WSICnews.com/yard sale. Get your spot today.
Hello, everyone. This is Joshua Dobie from North Main Financial Group. We're blessed at North Main Financial Group that most of our clients come to us by referral. When folks have a good experience with us, they share that good experience with their friends, family, and colleagues. In doing so, when we're sitting with folks, then we're looking at their financial plan and seeing if it aligns with their goals and their desires for what yet lies ahead, be it college, be it retirement, or be it estate planning. If that sounds of interest to you, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us at northmainfinancial.com.
Folks, you know Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department, we service vehicles this way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive. Whatever the season is, Randy Marion Service Departments have you covered. Come see us today because, again, you know we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com.
Thought-provoking conversations and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back. I am your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman of The L Show. I am here with my guests, Dr. Marta Canfield and Stacy Sweeney of Opti-Health. Thank you for answering that question for William. I think it's important that people can see the applications of what you do in all different areas. And while we're there, let's kind of continue down that avenue. Let's talk about a little bit about neurofeedback and how that works.
Okay. So we do two different applications of neurofeedback. People can train in our office. We have a very nice video screen in there, but we also have home units, which we send home. It's the exact same system that we have in the office. So it's based on their QEEG. Some other neurofeedback providers use like Muse headsets, which are great, but they're not based on that person's individualized QEEG. So they take a laptop home, they take the amplifier home, and we teach them how to do the training at home. I love home training because people can train 2 to 3 times a day. And over a month's time, people can run through 2 or 3 protocols. So they might work on focus attention, and then they might shift and work on short-term memory or anxiety. And we can monitor it on our end almost in real time. So we can give feedback.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And if I could share a story just from the last couple weeks, we modified a diet on one of our patients. And within one session, that patient's brainwaves organized because we were eliminating the sugar and the processed foods. And we can see the change, and they're reporting that they feel the change at that very same time.
That's amazing.
And what I love about this story is that this particular patient is a pediatric population, which means that they're not in charge of buying the food, right? They're not in charge of necessarily always making the food. But what Stacy, from the health coaching standpoint, was able to do was to empower this tween, right? And just to be like, and I'm very proud of her because she made a difference for herself. And then that's like instant feedback. And now she feels like she has ownership of that. She can see that she's actually helping her own brain.
That really is amazing. And again, on the show, we talk about, root causes, and we talk about the importance of, your diet and nutrition, your gut health. We talk about how that affects your brain. We know that there is the gut-brain axis. We know there's the gut-skin. We know that there are many axes from your gut and the things that you take in to help the other functions of your body. And so this is a perfect example, and you can see it. It's not just conjecture.
Right.
You can actually see it. This is a fact. We see this.
We see this, and a child now is making friends when they weren't
Yes.
before. We see it with our cognitive decline patients as well when we incorporate neurofeedback, some of our exercise modalities, and shifting diets to include good, healthy fats. Some people have come in for neurocog complaints, and having Dr. Canfield, when they complain of abdominal or gut issues, and she can tease that out.
Testing, functional testing, different, even using just conventional testing as well. We can do a lot to try and figure out what is actually the root cause.
It's amazing. Wow. So let's talk about the hyperbaric chamber that we're all excited about. It's still sitting outside, but it will be in
tonight.
Yes. Okay, great. So let's talk about the hyperbaric chamber. Tell us about that and how it's important. Like, how are we going to use it?
Yeah. So I always think about hyperbaric oxygen therapy from my diabetics, right? When I was a primary doc, they had a diabetic wound. I mean, it was like magic that they had to make sure they got their sessions in, right? They have to be consistent. But hospitals use this to heal wounds, right? And it is amazing that it works so beautifully. And so when I was learning even more about this, for what can we do from just a general healthy standpoint, what we call more of like healthy aging, right? What is it actually doing for us? So when we get into the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, our chamber goes up to 2 atmospheres. Often up to 3 is when you are going to be thinking more of like carbon monoxide poisoning and that type of stuff, right? So ours doesn't go up as high, and that's still okay. There's a lot of research studies. You can PubMed them. There's a lot of research studies on hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And what it's really getting down to is energy. So oxygen plus your food, right, equals energy in the cell, in the mitochondria. And if we can get oxygen to those places that need it, then we can impact more cells of the body. And that's really what it comes down to. It's energy. And that is the currency of every cell of how it works. And if your cells are not efficient at making energy, which can happen for a lot of different reasons, the hyperbaric oxygen therapy can really be very helpful.
I think we can tie this back. We talked a couple times about the Amen clinics, and the Amen
Yes.
clinics run SPECT scans on their patients that shows blood flow patterns and electrical activity in the brain, and they can identify areas that aren't getting good blood flow. So personally, I've had family members go to the Amen clinics. We've done their SPECT scans. We know the areas of their brain that are impacted by low oxygen, former TBIs, trauma.
It's traumatic brain injury for our
Thank you.
for our guests. Yes.
So, that we didn't know about, right? We guessed that these things had happened. And when they ordered, the Amen Clinic psychiatrist ordered neurofeedback and hyperbaric oxygen, we saw the changes. We saw, say, somebody in their prefrontal cortex, the front of their brain, which is responsible for attention. It's also responsible for anxiety. When we saw those symptoms go away, that's when we knew we needed to offer hyperbaric oxygen in addition to neurofeedback. So we had a mild chamber at our old practice. We have state-of-the-art medical grade going up to 2.0 coming in tomorrow. The reason we chose that particular chamber is that our veterans with PTSD, most of the research around PTSD goes up to 2.0 atmospheres. And so we really feel like we can offer that service to more people who really need it with that particular chamber.
What about with children?
Yes.
The application with children.
So with children who are on the spectrum, the research shows that kids who have 40 sessions of of hyperbaric oxygen start talking when they weren't. We've had kids that have gone in the chamber with their parents and they haven't told their teachers, and their teachers call back and say, "What are you doing?" We're not seeing them act out. We're not seeing them, be rude to the other kids or aggressive. And that's because their brain is healing. One of my kids was 13 years post-injury to the brain. We saw dramatic improvements in learning capabilities. It happens in front of us every day.
It's hope, right? It's all. It comes back to hope. It's like it's never too late to start on that journey to wellness.
That is, it's amazing, and I hope that our listeners, they are taking this in, because this is not something that we've ever spoken about on the show before. Number one, and then number two, people just don't know about all of the other options, alternative options to help. There's a pill for every ill, but do we have to go there?
No, and that's what we're taught, right, in medical school. And all my integrative training's been outside of medical school. There's a lot of hope and a lot of different tools. And sometimes medications are really what is indicated, and that's okay. That's why it's integrative.
Right. So what about, so we talked a little bit about cognitive decline, and we talked about veterans with PTSD, but let's go back to the cognitive decline. So you have someone who is aging, and the normal aging, right? So we expect certain things to kind of go down, but how can we help? Is it really slowing it down, or are we actually reversing it? So tell me kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, when it comes from a physician standpoint, my biggest thing is let me help prevent that typical going to, falling down, breaking a hip, going to the hospital, and if you do make it out of the hospital, going to a nursing home, just really talking about quality of life. And so if we can help maintain their quality of life and their functionality and their mobility, for me, that's my goal. And these modalities are giving me that ability to help people do that.
And if I could just say that some of the modalities that we've chosen have been based on Dr. Dale Bredesen's work. And if you're interested in cognitive decline, he is reversing Alzheimer's. It's all lifestyle medicine, but he uses red light, and he uses the exercise with oxygen training system that we have. There is
This
a
is
lot
just
of
amazing.
information.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing. We're going to keep on this when we get back from our break, guys. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We will see you in a second.
76 years strong, and we're still the one. WSIC. News. Talk. Now.
Here is your WSIC Community Calendar. Stuart Owen Dance, the resident dance company of Asheville's Wortham Center for the Performing Arts, is performing at Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius this Saturday. Want to learn more about Stuart Owen Dance before the event? Listen and watch Justin Dione, Executive Director of Kane Center for the Arts, during his show, Know the Scene, on Tuesday or on demand anytime. Just visit WSICnews.com and click on radio shows to find Know the Scene. Stuart Owen Dance, this Saturday, canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. The sesquicentennial celebration for the town of Huntersville is here this Saturday from 2 until 8 p.m. at Huntersville Athletic Park. Come celebrate Huntersville's 150th birthday, Saturday, September 23rd. For more info, visit huntersville.org. The All-American Dog Show is back in Cornelius, Sunday, October 1st, 2 until 5 p.m. Your furry friends are also welcome to attend. You can even enter them into the contests. Be sure to come by the WSIC tent at the All-American Dog Show happening at Robbins Park in Cornelius, Sunday, October 1st. For more info, visit cornelius.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high temperature nearing 76 degrees. Wind gusts getting up to 21 miles per hour. Through the nighttime, 50% chance of rain mainly after midnight. Otherwise mostly cloudy with that overnight low dropping to 58. This is your weather update from the WSIC Weather Center.
Stop dreaming about the perfect lawn and make it a reality. Drum Landscape Supply now offers personalized lawn plans. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com and collaborate with our experts. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
If you have an upcoming event, let WSIC spread the word. Go to WSICnews.com and click on the Community Calendar button. WSIC, proud to be part of your community.
Hello all, and welcome back to the L Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I'm here with my guest co-host, Dr. Marta Canfield, and Stacy Sweeney of Opti-Health. We are having an amazing conversation here, and I know we're getting all kinds of calls, which is great. That's what we want, because this topic is so important, and people knowing different options for them, and this is different. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so, and I hate we only have just this last segment to finish up, but we're going to have you guys back again. So let's move to mood regulation.
Yep.
So tell me about what modalities we could use with mood regulation.
Yep. So if you,
I need that, by the way. Okay, but go ahead. Go ahead.
So if you come into the office, right, you're always going to see me, right? You're always going to see me, sit down, have an integrative consult. And there's eventually, once our website goes live, you'll be able to see the different types of things that we offer. But you'll always come in and see me. And we'll usually talk about blood work. A lot of times your insurance, I can send you out with a lab and your insurance will cover it. Or we can start to do more of the integrative functional type labs. I'm going to talk to you about especially if you're a female, your menstrual cycle, right? We're going to talk about, if you're anybody, your thyroid. So these are the things that we're going to test first, right? Let's get to underlying causes. Let's see what's going on my side that I can help you either treat, fix, or manage, right? Then I'm going to hand you off to Stacy and her team, QEEG, that brain map that we were talking about, and then they're also going to be able to come up with a plan for you and the neurofeedback, and then the other different modalities that we've talked about.
Yeah, and I would say the quickest way for mood regulation in our clinic is red light followed by that whole body cryo. It gives you an immediate mood lift that stays with you throughout the entire day. And the reason for that is because your mitochondria are upregulated. It's a clinical term, but you're getting more energy to the cell. And then that heat shock to your body wakes it up. And so it's great for focus and attention, but the people who come in on kind of that depressive side tend to leave with a smile on their face. And our staff is great too, right? They're coaching them on, so it's a fun place to be.
Yeah. I'll just say, so it was funny. So when I didn't plan on doing that day, right? But I was like, okay, let's do it. So just for our listeners, basically they gave me, I had some gloves, I had something to cover my ears, I had some socks and whatnot. And I think that's just all of my appendages were covered, right?
Exactly.
And they're like, okay, yeah, you're just gonna be in there for 3 minutes. I'm like, okay, 3 minutes. You can do that. It's just 3 minutes. It's just 3 minutes. I went in and it is, what's the temperature in there?
Negative 124.
Yep, negative 124.
Dry air.
Yes, and my tears had frozen. But the thing is that I'm like, oh my gosh, like it is so awkward because, if you're cold natured or something, you think that you couldn't do it, but you can do it.
You can do it.
It's a long 3 minutes, but you can do it. And it was just a jolt. Yes. It was like, whoa. So yes, the energy piece for the day, the focus, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I went in with my 8-year-old. He loved it.
Amazing.
One of the other things that we use often is our EWAT system, our exercise with oxygen training. And so we take people into a hypoxic state, which means we're giving them low oxygen for a little bit during that ride, and then we flood them with oxygen at the end. So again, that's one of those mood lifters, but it also gets people going on their exercise regime in a controlled manner.
I gotcha.
Really, and they always see me first to make sure I think that they're good to go.
So there was just a question that came in. Do you all take Medicare?
No, we don't take any insurances.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Do you accept Medicare Advantage? No. So they do not take any insurances.
Yep.
So now let's get on to mitochondrial health.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
So if we go back to biology class, mitochondria they're organelles that are inside each cell. Get them from our mom only, by the way. And it is the producer of the energy. So if that's all you want to remember, great. Producer of the energy, you want it to be efficient, you want it to work well, you want to give it all of its nutrients and all the building blocks in order to give you great energy, which is ATP. And so a lot of our different modalities, including the red light, some of our infusions like NAD, and then the oxygen modalities, which is the HBOT, which is the hyperbaric chamber, along with the exercising with oxygen, these all give those mitochondria what they need in a boost. So we're not targeting any one thing. We are giving your overall body the ability, because it always wants to go back to feeling better, right? So we're giving your body that hope that it needs and what it needs in order to get back to balanced or homeostasis, if you will.
And if we could go back to that brain map, we see certain patterns on the brain map that might lead us to think that you have some issues with your mitochondria.
Yep.
So if somebody's beta waves, their thinking processing waves are blue on my map, which means they're really low magnitude, then Dr. Canfield knows that she needs to start screening for some mitochondrial issues, and those modalities will be helpful to them. Because if your mitochondria is not working, you're probably not getting a lot of dopamine. You're not feeling very happy.
So I had a couple of other questions, but I do want to make sure that our listeners are aware there is a webinar tool.
Yeah.
Please talk about that, because I think people would love to just real quick give us that, and then
from my former life, I had a women's hormonal health private practice in New York, and so this is a really important topic: mental health and mood swings, and anybody would benefit. I'm giving you my webinar for free. They'll have the link with the promo code.
Okay.
And it's an hour and 45 minutes.
But
was
it's
one of
worth it.
It
But
is
it's worth
totally
it.
worth it, and you can watch it in chunks, and it stays right there in your own portal that you can sign into. And we go through nutrients like ferritin and your thyroid, and even at the end a little bit for for my women patients, our cycle. And just to really, if we educate you about, hey, these are the things that you can ask your doctor to test, they're relatively straightforward. Like if they're low, hey, let's fix that.
Wow. So that link will be shared with me. I will have that on my website. And we will also get that link on WSIC.com, just so that people will have it. And again, she didn't go into detail like we did the other day, but I think it's super, super, super valuable to all of our listeners, in my opinion. So let's get to just a couple questions. So if someone is taking a medication for ADD, and we know right now, like there's been the Vyvanse shortage, there's been all kinds of shortages, right? I get calls all the time. Hey, do you have? So is there a way? So this question was: is there a way that you can help me, basically get off of my ADD medication, my Vyvanse?
Yeah. So for me, I would go through all the metabolic stuff, do exactly what I would do for a normal integrative, just to be like, is it really, let's find a root cause, go through your diet, and then also then hand you off to do the QEEG brain map. Let's see what's going on. Then even before you left the office that day, you could then sign up to do the red light and cryo. And you can like walk out feeling better, and you can get an idea. And over time, you may find that if you work with the provider who's prescribing it, you can use less and less of it.
Options for people,
right?
And you're monitoring as well.
Correct.
So there's a monitoring. So talk about just really quickly about how are you all following up and monitoring with your patients?
My patients usually are going to follow up with me anywhere from 2 weeks to 4, 6, 3 months, and but the touch points in the office are a lot more. So Stacy will often see them a lot more, or by the home training, they're actually like looking in the computer and they're seeing, and they'll reach out if there's concerns with the training for the neurofeedback, or like, hey, you're doing great, just having those touch points in the office so that people know that we care, and that we're not just sending you off to fend for yourself. So that's how we work.
Okay. Gotcha. So what is the address to Opti-Health?
It's 136 Corporate Park Drive, Suite G in Mooresville. So we're really close to the Lowe's YMCA.
Okay. All right.
And our phone number is probably the best way to get a hold of us.
Yeah, what's the phone number? Share it.
Yep, 704 412 3616.
Okay, perfect. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in to this week's segment of The Elle Show. I am your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary. And a huge thank you to my guests. I wish we had so much more time. Dr. Marta Canfield and Stacy Sweeney of Opti-Health. And for those of you who missed any part of the show or any of our previous shows, you can find them on WSICnews.com, or you can watch by following them on Facebook. We are also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. This is our 12th episode, and we love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Any topics, ideas, or any questions that you have, please call 1-844-STUDIO-4 or 1-844-788-3464. And I once again invite you to come and visit me at the store, 2003-5 Jeton Road, Suite B in Cornelius. Directly behind that McAllister's. We just have so much to offer and can personally help you on your healthcare journey, no matter where you are on that road. For example, we feature some very beautiful, super high quality loose leaf teas by Club Magic Hour that are specifically blended to support all aspects of wellness. Specifically, the Queen of the Tropics Rosé All Day. It's beautiful, beautiful tea. This tea will be your new favorite. Great for inflammation, mood, digestion, metabolism, all of those beautiful things. And just remember, ladies, I want you to block off that 3 to 4 time slot every Friday for the Elle Show, because I want this to be our happy hour. We are wrapping up our very busy week together on a very uplifting note. Thanks again to all of our listeners. Can't wait to spend time with you again. See you next week and have a fun weekend.